am doing a series on wealth distribution, and I thought I was done, but this morning something stirred up a little bit in me to make me want to do one more video. So when I talk about wealth distribution, I'm not talking about socialism. I'm talking about bringing the haves and the have-nots together to have better understanding and respect for each other, and to pool our resources, whether it be finances or ideas or experiences, and put it all together to make a better America. And the thing that came to me this morning was about the movie production industry. So the two areas I've focused on in this series have been jobs and housing. So I was reminded this morning about the movie production industry and how I had an idea once about having more movie production industries in more cities and towns, and even smaller ones. Like, why is Hollywood kind of a monopoly? Why aren't we doing more with the creatives in our own communities to bring forth better entertainment? and movies aren't just entertainment. Movies are meant to move your soul, and I don't see that in a lot of the movies that are out there. And I see violence and vengeance and alternative lifestyles and a lot of things I have no interest in. I was trying to find a movie this morning and I couldn't find anything. I'm not even going to go because there's nothing playing. And that's what got me, thinking about this. So that was an idea I had a while ago, and it just reminded me of that. I also saw the movie The Boys from, I can't remember the name of this town, but it was a movie about these boys from India who had done they had come together with the little resources they had, and they started making movies, and they actually had some success. And it was a very inspirational, true story. And that's the kind of thing I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see more people, more creatives come together, but we need resources. So that's where we come together. We have to start talking about these things and sharing what's on our hearts, and then maybe somebody will see it and somebody will, work together with us. So I actually also was reminding me that I wrote a script myself just 3 months ago or so, and I love it. I love this script. It is a movie. It's a story that hopefully will be a movie someday, about a Jewish family. And the reason I wrote this is because I was really bothered by all this division that's going on in the Middle East, and all the war and all the fighting, and especially here in America, that Jewish people were actually couldn't even go to school, that they were getting kicked off their campuses because they were being threatened just because they're Jewish. And I was just shocked that after all these years, after all they've been through, they're still dealing with this. And I don't want to get into the politics of, who's right and who's wrong. I mean, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And I get that, and I get the roots of it. But I also understand that maybe the Jewish government isn't necessarily the best for the Jewish people, and there could be a lot more to this than we know. But I don't really want to get into that. What I want to get into is, these are people. These are mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. They have traditions. They have normal family lives just like me and you. And that's what my script is about. It's about a normal Jewish family who has lived through generations of this persecution. And in the end of the movie, one of the characters actually is in one of these colleges dealing with this kind of persecution. But it's really a beautiful story about traditions and faith, and how you stick together through these things, and how you don't get bitter. That's the thing, to be able to go through all this persecution for so many years and not get bitter. The interesting thing about the movie is I was inspired to write a script because I had seen a Johnny Depp movie and I had watched the trial. And one of the things that really bothered me in the trial was hearing about Amber Heard's condo that was just for her wardrobe. She had her own condo for her wardrobe. I mean, that's like sickening to me, to be honest with you. Like, there's people that are in so much need, and so many stories and so many reasons why they're like that. That's just, over the top. But anyways, the other thing was I gained a new look at Johnny Depp that I'd never seen before. I started watching more of his movies, and I went to see the one he did recently, and I wasn't really like liking his character in it. It was the one about the French society, which was really sad. Louis the 15th or something like that. But I went home from that and I'm like, what kind of character would I like to see Johnny Depp play? So I placed him in the as the main character in this, and he's not Jewish, and this is my dream cast, and Julia Roberts as the as supporting actress, his wife, and she's not Jewish either, but there's other people like that I did want to put in there to like really portray the beauty of the Jewish celebrity like Barbara Streisand. But this is my dream cast. But anyways, the point was to show them as ordinary people who love their family, who love God, and were just trying to live out their life in this society. So anyway, that's if anyone's interested in my script, I'd love for you to read it because I think it's a beautiful script. And it really talks about how they sustain through all the generations and all the persecution and still don't come out bitter. They come out still with love in their hearts and a light to shine. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. And just going to keep throwing those ideas out there and hoping somebody sees them. Have a great day.